Hi, folks. I'm Mike, and I hope you're well. Welcome to episode 20 of Fix My Mix. Pleased to have you here. If you're in the live chat, I'll be saying hi to some of you in a moment. And a big thanks to our sponsor, Distrokid, of course, who I'm pointing to right now, or their link at least. And if you do follow that link down in the description down below, you'll get 7% off if you sign up at the moment, and I'll get a little kickback, and that'll be at no extra cost to you. So good stuff. We'll talk about DistroKid a little bit later on in the show. Here at Fix My Mix, we do listen to music from the community. So I'm just going to adjust my microphone a little bit here. We listen to music from the community, and usually we're getting it at a stage where it's not really complete, where it needs a little bit of fixing in the mixing. And hopefully what we do is we point people in the right direction to get them towards release. Now, a byproduct of that is that for you as a viewer, as a listener and a viewer, if you're in the live chat or you're watching on the replay, is that we get to exercise our ears here and critically listen to music and sort of assess what can be done to improve it. I believe that that's a great benefit to me, to you, and also to my guests. And I love this guest that we've got on today. He's very popular. I've always got people saying, when's he going to be on the show again? I like his opinion. He's got good opinions. And I reckon I have to agree with that. He's a star amongst us, and he's here to help me out today, Mr. Ricky T. Brown. G'day, Ricky.
Hey, hi everybody. Hi, all of our regular viewers. Hi there.
Nice to see them here, isn't it? Should we say hi to some of them now, Ricky? We have Kiara. She was missing last week. There was something cooking in the kitchen. Something was going on in the kitchen. We have Dan. Sorry. Look, I almost said Dan, didn't I? I've clicked on the wrong thing. It's scrolling up, and I've clicked on the wrong thing. Who have we got here? Oh, Danny Gable. Nice to see you here, Danny. Almost a Dan, wasn't it? We have Jeremiah here. Nice to see you in here, Jeremiah Peterson. I saw some other. There's Pete Johns. I've just been over on Pete Johns' channel, watching his interview with an artist over there. Very, very interesting. Very young artist he had on today. And I didn't get to hear any of their music, unfortunately, but I'll be checking that out. We have Mimo Japan is here. Nice to see you, Mimo. Thank you so much for being here. Mimo and Doug is here as well. Is all here as moderators, so behave yourself. That includes you, Ricky. Don't go in the chat there starting abusing people or anything like that. Right?
I can't answer anything in there, mate. But you know that.
Now, as people can see from the little tickery thing at the bottom of the screen, let's see if I can follow. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. This thing here. Am I getting the speed of that right? Can you do that, Ricky? Can you see the little ticky thing at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, I can see the ticker tape, yeah.
Let's pretend that we're pushing it along here, right? So,
wrong way.
You see? God, we're off the rails already. As you can see from that, folks, you can send your own mixes in for us to review. Don't be scared. It's usually quite constructive. And it's a very, very useful process, hopefully, to get you over the line. So just follow the instructions down there or in the description down below if you want to send your music in. I'm happy to hear anything of any genre, of any level of expertise. You may be just starting out, or you may have been doing it for decades. And I'm happy to, instrumentals, rock songs, jazz, pop, rap and hip hop, soundtrack music, EDM. We'll listen to any of it, won't we, Ricky?
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang.
Send it in.
Now, Ricky, I haven't told you that we have a bit of a theme to today's show.
Okay.
We have 3 songs from the community. I say songs. They are 3 pieces of music from the community. They're all instrumentals today.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Now, what do you reckon? Now I've told you that. What do you reckon the challenges are of instrumentals? What are you looking for here?
Right. Well, instrumentals, because you don't have vocals, you're looking for your instruments to carry the arrangement of the song. So, you know, you're going in the wrong direction, I think, if you're just relying on repetitive riffs.
Mm.
It requires, I would say, it requires a little bit more musicianship to like really pull it off. You know, because you're kind of exposed when there's no vocal on there, so it's like, well,
Right.
you can hear everything that's going on in the music. So yeah,
Absolutely, isn't it? It's a little bit. I mean, I think that yeah, there can be a difference in the mix. Of course,
mm,
what the focal part of the mix has changed, and also in it because music exists within a culture, yeah. So the way we hear music and the way we listen to music is influenced by the culture that we exist in.
sure,
And these days people don't listen to much instrumental music. I think there was a time, um, uh, and I'm going back to our youth, Ricky, where sometimes on
Ye-
albums there may be one instrumental track, maybe or something like that, on an album which otherwise had regular songs. I
yeah,
don't know if that's a thing anymore, but yeah, it's definitely a different challenge when people don't have that lyric stimulus and that that very familiar human voice to focus on. So I
mm,
reckon as we're listening today, one of the challenges is, does it hold our attention? Now
mm,
I know that we're listening to the mix here, and we will be giving people our critique on the mix itself. But the mix doesn't exist in isolation. It's there. It's a mix of a piece of art, which hopefully should be emotional or emotive in some way, and that kind of thing. So we'll listen to it as a whole. I think the other thing is, I have to say to you, not all of the tracks here, but some of them exceed that kind of 5 minute mark as well.
okay,
So, and now I always say this. I think
yeah,
that
you do,
that becomes a factor in itself.
mm,
Because again, we live in a culture where a certain length of music is expected, I suppose, for this art form. So that's this tough challenge, I think, for the people who
mm,
are on the show today. Actually, for the people who've got their music on the show today. Now we're going to go to our first artist, Ricky,
okay,
and I'm glad you're here
mm.
because obviously it's always helpful when someone else is here to read the names of the artists out.
Now you're not going to set me up now, are you? Come on, give me a break, give me an easy one.
I do believe, to give you a little bit pre-warning, I do believe, I'm not sure actually. Let me just read the email from this artist. I'm not sure. I think they may be from Holland. I could be wrong.
Okay,
They may be from Holland.
Dutch. Okay,
Okay. There we go.
right.
I'll let you
You're
read that
hitting me
one out,
with.
Ricky. I'll just look at my notes here just to prepare.
Um, this next one is from Jan Willem Biji and the song Starliner.
I wish Marlon was here.
Yeah, he would catch me out, wouldn't he?
I thought about this one. I thought about this one. Let us know in the comments if you speak in different languages and things, or just have knowledge of other languages. Is it
Actually, I
Jan
think
or is it
the Jan,
Jan?
not Yan. I
Is
think
it
it's
Jan?
probably
It could be
there's a
Jan or
silent
Jan.
J.
Is it
Yeah,
or
Yan
Jan? Jan. I think
Jan
Jan
Willem
Willem.
Biji.
We
Jan
don't know.
Willem.
We've no idea. I hope someone will help us out in the live chat. Now, as we are listening, while we're listening to this piece of music, I should mention as well, I will mention in a moment, this is a cover. Now, I do allow covers on the show. It's fine. If people want to send cover music in, it's fine. This Fix My Mix. We'll listen to your cover music. But I'll read the email out from, I'm going to go with Jan, sorry. Or is it Yan?
Jan Willem.
Let's go Jan. Um,
Yeah.
I can't read. Hang on a second. Got to put my eyes on. It's one of those mornings. I had a late night last night. I was releasing
Oh
the
dear.
video. Arturia released their new effects collection. So I was
Ah, yes.
yes, I released that video, and I was sort of around till midnight. Woke up at 5 this
Ooh.
morning to do this. Anyway, I sidetracked. Jan says,
Mhm.
the track I would like to enter for Fix My Mix is a cover of Montrose, of a track by Montrose called Starliner. I'm not familiar with either of them. I haven't listened to the track. I'm not familiar with the group. So it's probably a good thing, I guess. Do you know this track at all, Ricky, by chance?
Starliner. I don't think so.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
Yeah.
he says, hopefully you'll do covers on Fix My Mix. We do. Here's the proof. It's an instrumental track with guitars, bass, and drums, although the original contains a very annoying theremin. And yeah, theremins are annoying, aren't they? I'm glad. I really feel good about this track that was left out. My version has... My version has 2 rhythm guitar tracks, several lead guitar tracks, and a bass. I can't read this morning. And a bass track, all played by myself. I used a Strat and a Les Paul for both rhythm and lead. I used 2-track Superior Drummer 3 and a Shure SM57 right in front of a Black Star Stage 60 combo. This is for the guitar nerds out there. And for the bass, I use a Hohner violin. I guess like
a violin bass. Yeah, okay.
a bit like Paul McCartney's one.
That's it.
And use the Samson S Direct DI. The audio interface I use is the Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. So the DAW I use is Cakewalk, and at present I use Cakewalk by Backnap. Okay, anyway, that's all the background information. I can take the eyes away now. Don't forget, in the live chat, your opinions are very helpful. I know that the artists do look at this, and they often mention to me that they got some benefit from people in the live chat as well. So do let us know what you're thinking as you're listening to this music, please. It's very important for us to have your input. It's helpful to me and Ricky as well, actually. It sometimes gets our thoughts going a little bit. So yeah, do take part, starting from now. Well, it's early in the morning here. I'll tell you what, that woke me up. Woo!
I
I was like, woo!
thought that was a link, Mike. That explosion at the beginning. That's all right. In with a bang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boom, off we went. I'll let you go first, Mr. Brown.
Yeah. I thought it was really, really well put together.
Mm,
Love the mix.
mm,
He got Superior Drummer sounding like really good. The
mm,
separation was excellent on that, especially on the drum rolls.
mm,
Um, yeah, you felt them pivot from one side to the other when he was going down the kit. It
mm.
was yeah, I really like that about it. It wasn't too long. I mean, how long was that
No,
one?
that wasn't one of the long ones. The next two are the long ones.
No,
Yes,
no.
yes,
I
longer.
think he kind of nailed it really.
Mm.
I think one of the our guests, cited Rush, and I was thinking, yeah, Dan would have loved this.
Yeah, he would have liked being on
It
the
was
show
like
today.
right up
Yeah.
his
Mm,
street. This
mm,
one.
mm, mm.
Um, yeah, there are enough changes to keep your attention pretty much all the way through. So I think that could be used as a good example of having a tight arrangement where there was no fat on this. There was nothing on there that didn't need to be there, and it
Mm.
didn't go on for too long. So yeah, it's a thumbs up from me. That one definitely,
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean, some of that was helped, wasn't it, by the arrangement and the composition itself,
Yeah,
really. I mean, I thought it was sort of interesting though because I don't record a lot of covers. I did a few with Susie a few years back for fun, but
mm,
there's it's a I think it can be a good learning tool
yeah,
to actually try to replicate. Like artistically, it's best not to replicate with a cover, to do your own thing.
yeah. It's a
Artistically,
bit
that's
scary doing
best.
that, really. Yeah.
But also, if you're starting out, I'm not against actually trying to do a copy of one of your favorite songs or one of your favorite artists and trying to
Yeah.
replicate that mix. I'm not against that. I think there's like anything in music. There's a value in is the word mimicry in
Oh, absolutely.
first of all mimicking and then doing your own thing afterwards. So I haven't listened to the original. It makes me want to listen to the original, which is a good thing. But yeah, some of the work was done there with the composition, so you could listen to something like this. And if you are writing instrumentals, I think this would be of value to you. This piece of music
Yeah.
because I like the fact there were characters. There was actually characters in this. There was
Mm,
I was aware of three different guitar tones, I think,
yes.
and they came in and they sort of were almost having a battle with each other, like they do with sort of rap battles or something like that. They were coming in and saying, well, yeah. So it was really good. I loved the guitar tones and the lead guitar playing was really, really. A couple of points where it struck me like, oh, this person's got their chops together,
Yeah.
as you might say. So that was good. Anyway, I agree that the overall mix was good.
It was
And
there.
and I think we've had some examples recently of good drum programming because I
Mm.
know that we often have this debate, especially when Dan's here about virtual instruments and blah blah blah. And my thing always is that one thing if you are going to use virtual instruments is learn how to use them well. If you are going to use them well. And maybe we hear too many examples of people who don't use them well, and it's giving them a
Maybe.
bad
Mm.
reputation in some ways. This was an example of good drum programming, in my opinion. Very very well thought out. And now. Not too many downsides. I thought this is a nitpicky. There was a cowbell in there, too harshly panned in my opinion.
Oh,
It was totally in my right ear,
I
and it was
liked it
no, I
actually.
didn't
It's
like it. It
like
was too dry. I don't mind the cowbell, but it was a little bit too dry. It didn't sound like it was a part of the rest of the drum kit to me. And some of the cymbals were a little harsh at times, just a
Mm.
little harsh. I think maybe someone mentioned it in the chat. Sorry if I can't remember your name. Maybe a bit of compression on those cymbals, and it's great on Superior Drummer and on Addictive Drums and all this sort of thing. They're very good with giving you mixing tools. You're able to output them to different channels in your DAW is what I
Mm.
favour, and you can treat them differently. But yeah, that would be the only thing really. I think that just keep going in that direction. You know, I'd love to hear some original music from you, though. Jan, you
Yeah.
know, whatever it is. I didn't prepare for the next bit, Ricky. Can you talk for a moment? Just say something random, because I've got to go away. I'll be gone.
All right.
Only a few minutes. I've got to take my headphones off. See ya.
Uh, oh, he's a git, isn't he?
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. Got my
Oh,
guitar here. I don't know if
break
you've been
yours.
watching the
Go on.
show recently, but you do. I see you in the chat when you're not a guest.
Mm.
And recently we've been sort of making up a Distrokid jingles on the show.
Okay.
And I wouldn't do it again, but people seem to like it. So, or Doug liked it anyway.
What
That's
is
good
he
enough.
up to?
That's good enough for
Okay.
me. So we've got a guitar. I don't know if it's tuned. Hang on. I wasn't prepared for this morning. Oh, look. It's detuned. Ricky, you've been playing guitar recently, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, you've been getting into it.
Yeah, I'm starting from the beginning, mate, because see, I've owned guitars for like years, but I'm a keyboardist. So it's like, right, okay, most of what I do will be on the keyboard, and
Yeah.
it was kind of neglected. So a couple of months ago, I made the decision to no, I've
Go for
got
it.
to play the guitar properly because I love guitars. See, I've got a
They're
load of
awesome
them,
instruments. Yeah.
and I can't play them. So it made sense. So I'm actually getting some proper
Well,
tuition
I've picked up
with
this
all that.
guitar, and
Yeah.
you may know that the chord of D, the open chord of D, can be a little thin sounding because that's the deepest note there. Now, what we can do is take that bottom E string there, Ricky,
Yeah.
which is normally an E.
Yeah.
Can't play it, but we tune it down to D, and then you get this lovely
richer.
rich thing. You see.
Okay.
But it messes up all your chord shapes. Like a G is up here, like goes a bit mental if you've got to use that bottom one. But that's not the right note there. Did you spot that? Anyway, Ricky,
Yes.
let's talk Distrokid a second here.
Okay.
When I say Distrokid to you, what's a word that comes into your head?
Releases.
Releases. All right, we've got the word releases. And we need a key. And I'll let you pick from two keys. You can either have
Key
D.
of E.
Why did you say E? I'm going to have to retune the guitar now. Hang on.
So yeah. Who told you to mess with that E string? Yeah. Oh dear.
All right, and I don't know why. I think I did this picking pattern last week, but I'm sticking with it. Sounds like a country song already, doesn't it?
It does.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Go something a bit different here. I'm going for these chords, right? We've got an E. And we've got a... I should know that. A flat minor. And an F sharp minor. All right, here we go. You said the word release, didn't you?
Releases.
Release. Yeah. And another word, Ricky, just a random word of any kind, nothing to do with Distrokid.
Band.
Okay. Nothing to do with Distrokid, I said. But anyway. I've released my band on Distrokid. Another word, Ricky. I've released to my fans on Distrokid. Get another word in there, quickie.
I need
to release my song, and it won't take long on Distrokid.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go.
Well done, mate. Yeah, round of
On the
applause for
spot.
that one, mate.
Jingles there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on, I'll be back. Got to go back. Got to go back on the hanger. All right then. Okay. That wasn't too bad, was it? I guess.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'm
We got
impressed.
away with it.
Yeah.
We got away with
How
it.
did
Last
you
week,
get away with that?
Dan was on here because he doesn't write lyrics, so he just did an instrumental Distrokid jingle. Oh, you'll have to check that out.
Yeah, well done,
I guess
mate.
we should probably move on to some actual music now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'll let you read it out again, my friend. This second one. I love I'm not sure which is the title of the band and which is the title of the music for this one. I love them both anyway. The first one is the band, I think.
Right. The song is called Musical Ear Syndrome by Billionaire in Space.
I think the band is. I think it's the other way around. I think the band is Musical Ear Syndrome with a piece of music called Billionaires. I think so. We might find out if I read out the email.
I usually get it the wrong way around. Yeah.
Now, they say this is a 70s style prog instrumental that is not necessarily commercially viable, but it's intended to be fun, sort of.
Okay.
The song was put together using Cakewalk by BandLab. What a surprise. And with several free VST and highlights sounds from a vintage sequential Circuits Pro 1 hardware synthesizer. Rest in peace, David Smith. That whole sentence meant nothing to me, Ricky. Just over the top of my head there. But anyway, the song is dedicated to all those synth owners who have spent hours making cool sounds and thinking, I should use that in a song someday. I can imagine.
Yeah.
With many moving parts, adjusting the mix has been a challenge. All right, this is always. I only listen to the first few seconds of these sometimes in preparation for the show, so I'm not familiar with this piece of music. But it is, isn't it? When you've got several, I like the way they've said several moving parts. Mixing becomes a real challenge. Then when you've got lots of things going on. Which do you highlight? How do you keep it in balance? How do you stop other instruments from masking other instruments? All that stuff which that we battle against. Let's have a listen to this piece of music. So, as I say, Musical Ear Syndrome, Billionaires in Space. Well, there we go. You know what, Ricky? I'm going to go first.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
Stuff you.
Charming.
Quick, so sort of a quick one here. Look, musically, I thought this was quite strong, sort of in terms of keeping me entertained for the length of time. Things going on, things changing dynamically, musically, it was good. This is a good example, in my opinion, of when the basics of balance are out. This is the things that were wrong with this track were all virtually all to do with balance, not so much to do with tone or any other thing really. Now, in order to try and help the artists out, I'm going to talk in percentages because I can't talk about the names of the instruments because when it comes to synth sounds, we don't know what the names of them are. That blippy thing. So I'm just going to quickly say in my
Yeah.
notes. I was looking. We're going to talk in terms of percentages, or there was a synth tone, 25% in, quarter of the way in, too loud. This is just for the artist, by the way. Just too loud, needs to come down. There was a lead instrument about 50% in, too loud, needs to come in. There was a few lead instruments which came in which were just too loud. So I hope that helps. There was actually more than that, but those were the main ones that stuck out. Drums. The drums were thin and weak compared to everything else, in my opinion. It's interesting. I think as producers, we often overdo compression. I think there's an assumption that drums always need lots of compression on them. Not true, especially for certain genres of music. You actually don't want to go overboard. But in this case, I think they needed some compression, some beefiness in those drums, and something to keep them up with everything else all the way through. They were too dry as well, the drums. I think I've got an idea that some of this could be glued together a little bit with some similar reverb. If Pete Johns was here, he'd say use a kind of a reverb to put everything in the same space. I think that's more true of sort of traditional band lineups and things, but it could be used here. Something to some, especially the drums sound like they're in a completely different song to this one. Ricky, have I taken all of your points away from you?
There's some of them. I made some other observations. I
Mm,
mean, yes, the drums definitely were too low, but I thought the bass was low as well because, especially if you're using like a rock type groove, you'd want your bass line and the bass drum locked together in what they're doing. And there are a lot of places in the arrangement where, in the mix, they were just lost, kind of thing. And yeah, I'd echo your sentiments about the melody lines, the synth melody lines when they came in. They're just too loud, man. They're just too loud. And
yeah.
yeah, I think there's something in what you said that Pete would say about this using reverb to put everything in the same space because of the kind of track that it is. The track could take more reverb on certain instruments, kind of thing. They were just a bit too present, if you know what I mean. But conversely, I mean, the track had everything in there that it needed. It just needed a different balance, I think, and some of the fundamentals were lost. Um, it wasn't too long. There was enough going on to, kind of keep you interested. It was just when these new things came in, they were just too loud. So yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one.
Yeah, I think I sort of want to encourage the artists here a little bit because this was a good fun piece of music. They said they were doing it for fun. It was. I thought it
Mm,
was interesting, and not boring in any way, shape, or
no.
form, which was which
Mm-mm.
is, which is, which is probably a really important thing
Yeah.
in all music. But yeah, I thought
Yeah.
some of the tones were good though. There was one which I don't think it was a guitar, but it was a guitarish type tone.
Yeah.
Kind of towards the beginning, actually, overdriven guitarish tone. That was really good. Nice tone. It was too loud though. Again, when it came in, it was
Mm.
just too loud. So that was it. I mean, I do think that this is a case of someone's having a lot of ideas. I'm going to put this instrument, and then you put it in, and you push it up, and you push it up, and you're pushing everything up, and it gets out of control. So it may need a bit of a reset, this mix, in some ways, but
Yeah.
but I think that hopefully those points, especially in those specific ones that we pointed out, if you were going to fix one thing first for me with this, it's going to be those drums. It may be a choice of sounds, it may be a choice of drum kit as well, but yeah, they just felt like they need more oomph.
Yeah, the bottom end.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff there. I would like at this point to mention Distrokid again. I'm going to give you a choice, Ricky. Do you want me to play one of my little reels, or do you want me to get my guitar again and try and come up with
Play your reel, man.
Okay.
Play your reel. Yeah, we've done that. Don't wear it out, mate.
All right, folks. If you do want to release your music, then definitely follow that link in the description. Here's why.
Yeah.
If you do follow the link in the description down below, it's going to take you to a special page on Distrokid with this yellow banner at the top. That banner is letting you know that you're going to get a further 7% discount off your first year if you sign up here. And let's face it, it's already very cheap. If we scroll down, we can see that a year's membership is $19.99 per year for an unlimited number of albums and songs. And so long as it's your own music, there are no extra charges, and you get to keep all of the royalties from the various platforms. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Pandora, Amazon, Instagram, Tidal, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and more. I'm glad that we've got Ricky back in the mix again. I think your mic level was getting a little bit out of control earlier, Ricky.
Oh, right. So, yeah,
got a compressor. Yeah. We said that, but we sorted it out. That we didn't do anything whatsoever. I think just the compression kicked in.
Okay.
We look like we sorted it out. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's better now. It's better now." But anyway, there was a question in here. Do you allow song remixes that were allowed by artists in open remixes in contests? Our songs were allowed to be. Jeremiah, thanks for the question. I don't understand the question fully, but yes, I basically allow anything. Anything, really.
He's not fussy.
I'm not fussy. Send your music in. We listen to the mix. We don't care. As long as legally it works, fine. Okay. I think we should go on to our final piece of music for the show today. Great input as well, by the way, from everyone in the chat there. I'm enjoying your input. There's some really constructive input in there today. Yeah. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done so already. We've got 30 people watching. We've got 33 likes. Now, that means that there was 3 people who were enjoying themselves, but then they weren't. Maybe it was the jingle.
Arse and left, yeah.
Maybe it was the jingle. They were like, please, Mike, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. You'll have to check your stats, mate.
Now, I do believe that our final artist is in the chat, and is often here in the chat, in actual fact. Goes by the name of, the artist's name is E Short Studios, but I think in the chat as E Short Sax. Nice to see you here. This is our final instrumental for today. I think from memory, I think I had a quick look at it, that it was one of the longer tracks. Anyway, but E Short Sax was saying I wanted to get some feedbacks. I've been mixing for a little over a year now, and started mastering about mastering also about a year now. Now, I think there's some really interesting backstory to this. The song is called Quiet Times because my wife and I had a baby. He's a year old now. Congratulations. Which you won't be getting many quiet times. But anyway, which meant I wasn't going to be able to play my saxophone as much. Yeah.
As much
as I'd like to, because it would wake him up. This same goes for drums. Any drummers in the audience who have had kids and had to give up drums and I'd be like, no, stuff it. This is the world you were born into.
Yeah, that's it. Get used to it.
Get used to it. Anyway, this also meant that my daughter and I wouldn't be able to play as loud as we normally would. She's just turned 8. I decided to make a song with no saxophone, even though the sax makes a lot of songs sounds better. It's something that hasn't been in mainstream music a lot. It used in the 80s, wasn't it, Ricky? There was always
There's always
either
a sax in there
a
somewhere,
sax
yeah.
solo.
Kenny G,
Kenny G.
probably.
That
Yeah.
was the artist I was trying to think of. And then
Yeah.
you know, what's the most iconic sax song of all time? Would you say? Yeah, that's
Careless Whisper.
no. Oh, that I wasn't going to say that. I
Yes.
wasn't going to say that. But you're right. That's
It
no. I was going
starts
to.
with it.
Yeah,
Da,
I was.
da, 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 da.
It does. But I was going to say Baker Street. I was going to say Baker
Oh,
Street.
yes.
Jerry
Yes, yes.
Rafferty.
Baker
Yeah.
Street, yeah.
Good song.
Yeah.
Good song. Yeah, look, we've got a couple of Baker Streets in the chat there. Yes. Jerry Rafferty, a Scottish guy. Doesn't sound like music from a Scottish band, does
No, I
it?
thought, do you know, I honestly thought he was one of our American friends.
No. Yeah.
Damn. He was Scottish then.
Watched a documentary on him recently. Quite a talented guy, actually, in many ways, but didn't like the limelight. You get those artists, don't you, who they like to make music, and then when they get big and people want to interview them and stuff, they're like, no, thank you, don't want to do any of that. And he was a bit like that. What about you, Ricky? Do you like the limelight? Or
Limelight?
Yeah, the
Do
limelight.
I like the limelight?
Yeah.
Listen, the only limelight I get these days is being on your bloody show, mate. So, yeah, that'll have to do for me.
But in terms of music, do you like making the music, or if people want to chat about your music and analyze it and discuss it, do you think do you like to do that, or do you just want to leave the music there to speak for itself?
I'd be up for that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because it gives you a chance to talk about, you know, your journey with whatever piece it was, and what may have inspired you to do it, and what approach did you deliberately use to make it what it was, you know. So there is a conversation around that kind of
challenge
thing.
for you then,
Yeah.
Ricky. Let's people in the chat say if they want this. Should we do a Fix My Mix special where one of the pieces of music on there will be Ricky T. Brown's very own piece of music? We won't fix the
Okay.
mix, and then we
Cool.
can chat about it and we can analyze it. If you want that to happen, let me know in the chat right now. Okay,
I'm cool with that, man,
if I don't
honestly.
see thumbs up, that means you hate Ricky. I'm waiting for those thumbs up, Ricky. They're not coming. They're not
Come on, where's
coming.
the thumbs? Come
Where's
on.
the thumbs? Get your emojis out, folks. I want to see those bloody thumbs. Waiting. I've got an absolutely from Doug. Doesn't follow instructions well.
Yay.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. We got some yes in there.
Yep.
Right, they can't
We've got a
find their
couple
thumb
of yeses.
emojis.
All right.
Okay. That's all we need. A couple of yeses.
I'm
and we're
up for that.
now, excuse me, got a little bit of a cough going on here. So I didn't finish reading out this email, did I? So where did we get to? To keep the house quiet and see if I could make a song I'd like without playing a wind instrument. It was fun, and I was able to get my daughter to help with this song. Both of us say shh throughout the song, so it has got vocals in it, and she says it's quiet time at the very end. There are no words because I don't sing, but hopefully the listeners can feel this song. Okay, well, hopefully we do. Ricky, let's have a listen to the final song for the show today, and I'll just quickly allow you to introduce the artist there.
Okay. The artist is Eat Short Studios, and the song Quiet Times.
Oakley Dokley. Mr. Ricky T. Brown.
Yeah, I had a bit of a weird experience there because I think it dropped out.
Oh, did it?
And yeah, and then when it
Oh.
came back in, it was like two of them going at the same
Oh,
time.
was it?
So one,
Oh. Do you want
yeah,
me to
so it
play
was
it
like a
again?
bit of an echo all the way through. So
Oh,
it's like
no.
I was trying to
Uh,
work out. Well, okay, I can see where
mm,
it's going. I tell you what, my first impressions were. It
mm.
reminds me a lot of. It reminded me kind of Always and Forever, by Heatwave.
Mm,
The
mm,
kind of movement because it's a 3/4 time
mm,
signature
mm, mm,
kind of
mm,
thing.
mm.
So it's like a one, two,
2,
three,
3,
one,
1.
two,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
three,
Right. Yeah.
one, two, three.
Mm,
So there's a bit of 3/4 going on in there, and that that kind of movement was very typical of the late 70s, early 80s
mm, mm.
R&B.
I
Because
don't
you could
know why
easily.
I kept I could have the wrong artist here. You might be able to help me. I kept thinking of Luther Vandross for some reason.
Yes, he did a
Right.
version of Always and Forever. Yeah,
Right. Oh, well, there you go. Ah, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
The original was by Heatwave.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the way it sounded to me that there wasn't enough going on, um, it needed a lead instrument in there now. I
Mm.
saw in the comments that, somebody mentioned sax. Yeah.
Needs a sax.
Yeah, a sax would have worked great in that, but it needed, a melody going over the top following the chord changes. That would
Mm,
really have made it feel really different. I've no disrespect to the artist, but I think as it is, it's incomplete because the arrangement doesn't make sense to me without hearing the melody line.
mm, mm, mm,
And if you haven't got a voice on there, you need an instrument that's doing the same job.
mm, mm, mm,
So yeah, I like the chords and stuff. Yeah, classic R&B grooves
mm, mm.
going on with that, but it needed more. Is the way that I would put it. Yeah, there's more to be had out of this one. So yeah, it feels very nice, very nostalgic, of the kind of music that was around in that time period. But it needs more than that to really make it fly.
I've I'm going to use a word now that not everyone's familiar with, and I've gone to
Mm.
Wikipedia to look up that word. The word is motif, a
Yes.
musical term. I'll read this out. In music, a motif is a short musical phrase, or a salient reoccurring figure, musical fragment, or succession of notes that has some special importance um, in or as a characteristic of a composition. Um, you might think of words like riff as well,
Mm.
associate a little bit with this. Um, but yeah, there's melody, there's main melodies, but there's this sort of melodic themes as well,
Yeah.
which can be there. This felt like I don't want to be harsh to our friend who's in the comments, but this sounded. I think somebody said at the moment it's more in the realms of backing track. I will say, quite a nice backing track, quite a
Yeah.
good
Mm.
backing track actually.
Mm.
Overall, I felt that there was just a nice. I put words, tone, vibe down. There was a nice, just obviously a mellow. They're obviously going for mellow tone there, and it was very warming. It felt comfortable and nice, and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff in there. Um, but yeah, it lacked a musical motif, a melody to keep us. Because my issue now is if we say to each other, "Hey, let's sing back some parts of Quiet Times," that there's nothing there for us to melodically go, yeah, it went. Okay,
Yeah,
so.
it's some nice chord progressions
Mm, mm,
on it, and as I said before, it's very reminiscent of the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, even in the 90s when you had like Boys to Men used to sing to this kind of
yeah,
backing track,
absolutely, yeah, exactly.
kind of thing, which then made you feel
Mm,
that that motif or repetitive element was missing
mm, mm,
because
mm,
it just felt that that's what you would do with this, you know what I
mm,
mean?
mm,
So
mm. So, I mean,
Yeah,
overall, E short sax, I think good direction. I don't think you've got any major problems with the mix. There was some
no.
people chatting about the kick drum, maybe being a little bit out or a bit too much and what have you. I'm sort of on the fence about that. Yeah, maybe try that. Maybe try out that suggestion which was in the chat there. Didn't really strike me particularly as being out,
Yeah.
but people hear different
Actually,
things.
I picked up, the hi-hat pattern, being used for this 'cause, I suppose then that's when you wanna be using, like, triplets kind of thing
All right.
in the 3, 4 time signature to
Can
go
I just have a listen to this? I just want to remind myself. I'm just going to play a bit to remind us. We'll
yeah.
just do a little. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause, it's using a shaker, in
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, it even though the shaker was giving you a bit of the triplet time thing,
Mm, mm.
um, from a kit point of view, you would have been listening for the hi-hats as well.
Yeah. Right.
So, because the hi-hat is a great tool for giving accents,
Yes.
to certain parts of the song, and, because it wasn't there, um, even though you've got nice chord progressions going there, they're just kind of rolling around kind of thing
Mm, mm,
rather
mm,
than,
mm, mm,
it needed a little bit more drama
mm,
in
mm,
terms of how, because for something like this, you may do something like dun 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 ba da doo
mm.
doo 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 bang doo doo
Yeah. Yeah.
doo
Right. Right.
dun. So there are different ways of making this work, because look, this kind of track, yeah, it's the one that I used to put on, I don't know if you remember, Mike, when you used to go out clubbing, yeah,
Oh,
and when
yeah. I used to
everybody's
go out
got
clubbing all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
and when everybody is tagged up at the end of the night, and you
Yeah.
muster up the courage to
Hey,
slow
you
dance
would.
with
You would.
a girl you've had your eye on all night,
You would
you know?
snog. You would snog with someone to this song, wouldn't you? There's a there's a word that
Yeah.
our American friends may not be
Some
familiar with.
some baby making music,
Some
yeah?
snogging. You would.
No,
I want to say,
so
going back to those times though, going
yeah,
back to the 80s, I used to spend a lot of time with my vinyls, with
yeah,
cloths and chemicals, getting rid
yeah.
of dust and things
The static, yeah.
so that there wouldn't be scratchy sounds on my records. And now
Yeah,
people are putting scratchy sounds on their
yeah.
records with plugins and things, and that's going to be my final point about this particular piece of music.
Mhm.
So, there was a scratchy sound in this. I don't want to be too harsh to our friend here, but I want to ask, did it need to be there? I mean, I'm going to say, if you do really want it there in this piece of music, have it at the beginning and then fade it out, because it was getting away in the way a little bit of these lovely tones that you were creating. Some really warm, mellow stuff going on there, and then there was some pops and clicks in there, which obviously you're not in control of entirely. They almost occasionally sounded like a little bit of clipping or something like that, right? So I personally think the I would like to know what the artistic role of the scratch was, because the thing about, we used to get rid of those scratches and try and make things as clean as we could make them back in the day, and now with scratches and tape hiss and hums and things like that, I feel they're only there for a nostalgic purpose or a stylistic purpose when we want to say to people, hey, here's an old recording, when it's not an old recording. So they serve that purpose. I don't know that they serve any other artistic purpose than that. I could be wrong. So I would say get rid of the scratchy stuff, personally, in my opinion. Just not needed. Probably
I personally, I think it would have worked better, if he had gone for more of a Fender Rhodes, um, keyboard sound
uh-huh.
because, the keyboard sound being used, it kind of reminded me of, it's probably like one of a DX Rhodes kind of thing, which
Yeah, right, yeah.
is quite glassy,
Mm, mm,
whereas,
mm.
a Fender Rhodes is a lot
Has that
more
little bit of edge on it.
subtle,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're rumbling a little bit of static in the background, that kinda that adds
Mm.
to
Mm,
the
mm.
atmosphere you're creating with that. So
Got you.
I think it
Got you.
was a bit contrast is the
Yeah.
issue
Yeah.
with this.
Yes. Absolutely. But I think that's all we've got to say. But thank you so much to Each Short Studios for sending it in. I hope we've managed to help you. Um, if you do happen to come up with some more melody and motifs or something like that for this track, then please feel free to resubmit it, and I think we'll have a listen again. Actually, I would have a listen to that again. Perhaps we'll have it on that special show with Ricky T. Browns. Let us know again in the comments if you really do want some music to be assessed on the show, which was
Yeah.
created by Ricky T. Brown. Um, but
Yeah.
don't give us your thumbs up. I'd like to see some
Yeah.
aubergines, some eggplants in there, or some
I
carrots.
just want to say now that I'm bricking it. Okay. So yeah.
I think I've never heard any of Ricky's music. It could be absolute garbage for all I know. I don't know.
It could be.
But I've heard from people that have heard your music and they've said it's pretty good. So, you know,
Oh,
thanks.
okay.
Thanks, Kianra, for your. Is that an aubergine or what do you call it? An eggplant? I don't know.
Eggplant.
But here they go. Do you know what it means if you get those with a donut, Ricky? Do you
Uh,
know?
I don't know.
No.
Right. Okay.
I won't go
What are
into that.
you saying, Eleonora? What are you saying?
Something my teenage kids taught me when they corrupted me. What a great show! I always have. I love having you on the show, Ricky.
Well,
Really,
thank
really
you,
good.
man.
And thank you so much to the people who have been helping out in the comments. If you're watching on the live replay, I know there's several people that watch the live replay. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? But if you're watching the replay, your comments are most welcome. I know many people do because we're doing it in this fixed time now, which means for lots of people it's not in their time zone at all, especially people in the UK. But Ricky, you are in the UK and you've stayed up late to do this, so many thanks to you.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
I'm not going to be keeping you because, as
Yeah.
I mentioned to you earlier, I am going out for a morning walk. As soon as this
Yeah.
show's over, I've got to go out for a morning walk with my. I'm going out with my mother, who's visiting from the UK at the moment. She's staying with us,
Bless.
and I want to say thank you to Chris Slem from Mixdown Online, who's been inspiring me to actually take part in some sort of healthy physical activity because I do know physical activity basically, apart from fishing. And is that honestly a physical activity? But yeah. So Chris said that he goes out for a daily morning walk, and I thought, yeah, now's the time to start. I'm on day 10 today, and using the fact that my mum's here with me. But for those of you who do spend a lot of time in the studio, I do think it's tremendously important for us to remember to take care of our health, actually, because the studio can be a physically really unhealthy environment. Do you reckon, Ricky? What's your
Yeah,
experience been with that over the
absolutely.
years? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
Sedentary, mate.
with that's it. What's the main dangers for you, Ricky? What bad habits did you find you've gotten into over the years when you've been producing?
Um, yeah, you do spend too much time in the studio, and usually when you come out, you're kind of tired because you're focused for the amount of hours you've been spending in there, and then you've got no energy to do anything else. So it's like, right, you've got to put it in your itinerary that you have a physical activity that takes you away from the studio. I mean, I've seen pictures of people's studios where they've actually got like a treadmill
Yeah,
in
right.
in in the
Yeah.
background
Pete,
kind of
Pete,
thing.
Pete used to have for the treadmill in the background. Do you remember Pete
Yeah.
Johns? I wonder if he still has it. I don't think he does. He got rid of it
Yeah,
now.
treadmill, but the logic of it actually makes sense,
Mm,
because you can be on there even when you're listening kind of thing.
mm, mm,
Well,
mm.
if you can listen above the din of the motor on it, but, yeah, just turn it up, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is important, and then, your fluids as well.
Yes.
Um,
Some
when you're
people
in the
don't like to
studio, you
have
drink
any
less.
drinks. Yeah, people don't. Some people are so concerned about spillages as well that they
Yeah,
just where they won't have any drinks. I'm bad
Yeah.
like that. I actually have cups of tea
So
on the
I
desk.
try and compensate with that. So you see, you can see my
Look at that.
chamber pot here, yeah?
Hey,
It is
is that
absolutely
water?
no, that's tea actually.
That's tea. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tea.
good.
Yeah, so,
Absolutely.
I do have it in a place where it can't fall over, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to keep an eye on those things, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm going to go now. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here. We'll be back next week. I'm going to get some special guests in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Not that you're not special, Ricky, but some different guests, I should say, on
Yeah,
here.
it's alright.
But yeah, looking forward. I think the next time we have Ricky on, we'll have him on with one of his pieces of music, which we'll have a listen to. Ricky,
Hey.
I'm going to let you pick whatever one you want to pick, please.
Okay,
Yeah, the
okay.
pressure's on now, isn't it? But
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, I might just
I'm
grab
cool
a
with it,
track.
man.
Might grab a track from one of the other guests that's been on in the past as well,
Yeah,
and we'll have a listen to that.
time to watch
Maybe
me crash and burn, yeah?
if for no other reason, just to say this is how it's done, you know.
Yeah,
But none of us are ever happy with our mixes, Ricky. So don't feel too nervous
indeed.
about it. I could not think of one thing that I've ever done where I could say, "Oh, I'll play that as an example of a perfect mix." Never has happened. Probably never will. But there you go. All right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you to everyone who's been here in the chat. It's
Okay.
been a wonderful show. And thank you. If you do want to send your music in, make sure you do it. Follow the instructions in the description down below. And we look forward to hearing